Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Did you know you can advertise on podcasts?
Don't act like you're not impressed.
Find out more at podvertise.com.au. That's podvertise with an s.com.au. Ozcast.
Fortunately for them, their DJ neighbour, Matt Burgess, couldn't sleep.
My night, Jarrod Walsh, lovely bloke. He's been around for ages.
Oh, mate. Jarrod, I love him.
And world tennis number 3, Andy Murray even.
Welcome to the Ozcast Network studios for another round of Best Team Men. A couple of sponsors to get through first. We've obviously got the Brighton Trophy Centre, Con and Lena there, Shifty Lizard Brewing, Mind and Movement Physio, and the Odd Sock Mob. And I'm still waiting for my socks. Jarrod, welcome to you.
Me too. Thank you very much. I've been in touch with Odd Sock Mob. Nate Turner, who was the guy who connected us initially after hearing our podcast last week, said, "G'day, mate. Just wondering if you wanted to chat with the guys from Odd Sock Mob so you can understand why they are called Odd Sock Mob." Okay. So that was
Is that off the back of my question of saying, hey, how did they start?
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah, question without notice. I'm like, give us notice next time. But they're great. They're doing good stuff for mental health. Go to their Facebook page.
So you haven't caught up with them yet?
No, not yet.
And my socks aren't in the mail.
Yeah, not yet. No.
Andy, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. It's been pretty crazy. Big week. We've got internet here now, so that's good.
That's it. Hey, well done.
Well played.
Thank you. Well, I only took a phone call. So, and here we are.
We're finding a lot of our listeners, our fans, our members are getting in touch with us and saying, "Where's Best Team Men? Where's Booze Team Men?" And I was going to have a crack at one on Twitter today, and you can follow us on Twitter that Matt runs at Best Team Men on Twitter. And it was Josh from the Sparky podcast, the
plug-in podcast.
what's it called? The Powerhouse podcast.
Oh yeah.
He's like, "Where is it? Where's your thing?" And I was going to say, "Listen, mate, you don't get a say until you buy some merchandise." And then I thought two things. One, I haven't bought any yet. And two, he listens to the podcast, so that's his contribution. That's my aim this week. This round, I'm going to buy merchandise with the great tweet, Matt. That's the T-shirt that I'm going to buy. Yeah. How long does postage take?
For that particular T-shirt, it could take up to maybe a week and a half, depending on what's going on in Melbourne.
Okay, well that's awesome.
Sydney, so there you go.
All right, so if anyone,
no, nothing at all.
For anyone who hasn't heard this podcast before, we're a bunch of guys having a chat.
Everything on Melbourne.
Yeah. We should introduce ourselves. All right. I'm trying to straighten up here.
I am wearing the Best Team Men T-shirt today.
It looks great. It's a podcast. It's not a video. So
sorry. Next caller.
Oh man, I've been looking forward to doing this with you guys. So I think it's important because we've got a lot of stuff to get through, as we always do. Let's introduce ourselves. I'm Jarrod.
I'm Lyndon. No, I'm Matt.
And I'm Andrew.
Oh, okay. All right. No worries, guys. All right. Well, I'm just going to play this for you.
And this is the real Lyndon.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah. Is that Lyndon who used to do the outside broadcast? Yes. He's a legend.
I'm going to play this again. This is how we funnily stumbled across this in-joke, which is I'm Lyndon, who's a great guy. And
and this is the real Lyndon.
Yes.
So this morning I was having a coffee by myself, and here's the message. "Lyndon, Jarrod Walsh here, bro. Hoping you can do me a very unique favour. Hey, mate, what do you need?" So I've written this huge text message and I was going to send it. And I'm like, this is so weird. And I rang him up. I'm like, mate, this is just like 8 o'clock in the morning. He's gone, yeah, so what, you need something for this weekend? You need some audio equipment? You need me to help you with some audio stuff? I'm like, no. We run a podcast and we make a joke out of who you are. You know Sam Tugwell from the Pressbox ep. Well, you know how he sent you these messages going, cross! He's like, oh, yeah. So we make a joke and say, I'm Lyndon. Do you mind sending us an audio message of I'm Lyndon? He's like, oh, is that it? I'm like,
yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, no worries. All right, cheers. Hang up the phone and that was it.
That's like one of those things where you work yourself up so much to either talk to a particular person or organise something, and then you think it's going to be super difficult, and then you do it, and it's like, yeah, no worries, mate.
And you're like, why did I just waste so much nervous energy on that? Because it all worked out.
The dishwasher at home broke the other night, and we're like, oh, no, because, unlike you guys, I'm in a rental. So
I thought you were going to say, unlike you guys, I don't do dishes.
I don't do them either.
I do.
No, you guys are smart. You got invested early and bought a house. I decided to piss it up the wall, basically, all the money, and have some party.
Did you have fun, though?
Yeah, I did.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have no memory of it, though, and part of my brain is missing. But anyway. So when the dishwasher broke, I was like, oh, no, I'm going to have to speak to the real estate agent. They're going to have to go to the owner. There's going to be some clearance issues with money and stuff. And then I was like working myself up to write this email, wrote the email, sent it, looked away when I hit send, thinking that's going to be denied or something like that. Or they're like, oh, Andrew's contacting me again. I'm going to spend more money on the house. They're like, yeah, no worries. They'll replace it. It'll be there on Thursday. And I was like, oh, okay.
Amazing.
How good's that?
Yeah, it's really good. So, cheering on, boys.
Well, now you've got the confidence just to send an email with everything else that's wrong with it.
Yes, here comes a list.
You know what was funny about Andy saying that he's lost part of his memory? This is kind of me losing a bit of my memory. I'm not going to be very specific here. This is going to be a vague story, but it is quite funny. I rang Andy the other day when I was walking the dog out of excitement and a little bit weird because something occurred to me involving someone that I knew 10 years ago. And anyway, I rang up Andy just to tell him this story. And I'm like, hey, Andy, mate, remember how we knew this person that all this other stuff happened? It was so weird. It was so stupid. Anyway. And Andy's like, oh, mate, that wasn't some other person. That was me.
Yeah, you hear about it in Boost Team Men.
Oh, no,
it's that explicit. I was like, nah, that was me.
Yeah. Yasmin in the background. Like, it wasn't bad. It was just funny because I thought it was about someone else. But it was about our very good friend Andy Martin. What else is going on, boys? So you just got back from a trip. You look brown.
Yeah, I'm glad. I spent a bit of time up in Port Douglas in the sun to try and get a bit of colour, so which is a bit rare for me. It looks like I've been sunbaking in an esky for the last 20 years. So, I've come back with a bit of colour, which has been really good. So,
Did I see you hanging out with Will Sparks?
Yeah, he was up there as well.
That was weird. You said, I'm just going away. We're going on a honeymoon in next minute. Did you get married to Will Sparks? Because you're sitting there as soon as you land having a beer with him.
That's right. Yeah, no, that was coincidental. He was in Cairns the night before we got there playing a gig in Cairns, and he's just been doing like a 3-month camping trip basically around Queensland while he can't play gigs and stuff like that. So when I told him I was up in Port Douglas, he said, well, might hang around for 4 or 5 days. And yeah, it was good to spend some time with him. I hadn't seen him for a while. So
can I ask a DJ question?
Yep.
This applies to both of you. So what would the ratio be of songs made by DJs? So we hear and see sometimes a lot of guys during their commute, whether they're on long distance flights or they're in a hotel and they're on their computer making beats and they're making music.
Yep.
What would be the ratio of songs that make it and turn into hits, whether it's through SoundCloud, streaming, club play or radio play and old school CD purchases to ones that don't? Do you reckon?
From my own personal point of view, I would have probably 40 or 50 half-done projects sitting on my computer.
Right.
And I'm such a small fish. So I can only imagine. Like there's some guys, like Calvin Harris has openly said he doesn't finish a song unless he thinks it's a hit.
Really?
Yeah. So he'll know pretty early on if he thinks it's going to be a good tune for him, whether that be popularity by playing at a festival or high streams or high sales.
Yeah.
And he'll just scrap it if he doesn't think it's any good. So there's some that would have hundreds just backed up, ready to go.
Would it be like, is there a science behind it, do you think, that you have to follow what the trend of music is, the sound, the BPM?
Well, that can be hard because
you say random.
You said random.
Just saying random.
BPM, toilet brush, and such things as that.
On the run, BP, Mobile, Calton.
Guzmani, Gomez,
Shehin brothers.
We'll give you an example. Like it's very hard. So I know Will he's got about 30 tracks ready in a back catalogue ready to release.
Yeah.
But it's all dependent on labels. So some labels won't let him release a song 4 weeks either side of theirs coming out.
Okay.
Okay. So he could have. He's had songs that he wrote 4 or 5 years ago that are coming out or have come out recently. So that's sort of what separates the really good guys from everyone else, is they write stuff that is ahead of its time.
Yeah. Okay.
So
what happened on your holidays? Did anything piss you off? You always find something. Well, you did find a couple of things. You found your bloody Fanta hat.
Yeah, I bought a Fanta hat,
which is amazing.
Was it expensive because it's like a vintage product?
It was $30.
Holy moly!
Yeah, and Kira hates it. Absolutely hates it.
What?
Yeah.
What does she hate about it?
I think just the fit.
Yeah, the way it sits in your head.
The way it sits on my head, yeah.
Does it look like you're a Tour de France rider with one of those
a little bit of a Melbourne Cup jockey stuff?
You're a non-hat wearer. You look weird wearing hats, Andy.
Thanks.
And sometimes I see a photo of Andy wearing a hat. I'm like, what's going on? You look very touristy wearing a hat.
Yeah, no, I do.
Or you've just bought it.
I wonder where this guy's come from.
Or Andy's got it as a gift. He's like, well, I've got to wear it to show that I like it. But you hate it.
Unfortunately, in my world, I think you're the same. I'm a size 60 head.
Yeah,
and that is fucking massive.
I don't have a massive head.
We're talking about physically or mentally? No. I thought I was having the conversation with you a little while ago about head sizes. Oh, different head. Anyway, let's move on. I'm going to say,
anyway, guys, I went to
here's a side story. When I had to buy a helmet to ride horses, they actually had to order a helmet in because they didn't carry 60s because it was so large.
You had to get a custom helmet.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So you also drove past a building which had a beautiful name of...
This is the real Lyndon.
Yeah, that was actually that building. I don't know what that business was or what they did, but it was opposite the car rental place I got our car from. And I was driving and I got so excited. I was like, Kira, get your phone out. And she thought I'd seen something amazing. I did take a photo of that building. It says Lyndon. And,
that's so good.
You know, I was there for half an hour and I'd bought a Fanta hat and seen a Lyndon building. So
you had no money left after buying that.
I tell you, one thing that we did that was awesome, and if anyone ever goes up there, go to Hartley's Crocodile Adventure Park. It's not really, there's no rides or anything, but
unless you get in the cage.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But we watched a show.
You love it to death.
We watched a show called The Attack Show, and it was basically
what was that about?
A guy gets in a little pond basically with a 4.5 meter croc, and gets him to jump up and get food out of his hand, basically. Like, it's full on, man. He's standing in ankle deep water.
Yeah.
You can't see his feet.
Yeah.
And he's just standing there. He's like, I don't know where this thing is, but I've got to keep my wits about me.
That's so funny. I was thinking about that the other day with things like croc and shark attacks. In the movies, you're familiar with music accompanying the attack.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're in the water and you get attacked by a shark, there's no there's just a splash noise. There's no roar like a lion's going to attack you. There's no noise. It's just a bite and blood and death.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. But you expect a huge build-up or this big montage before the attack, but it never happens.
No, when I was in Queensland competing the Australian International Surf Life Saving Championships.
So you didn't beat Japan here?
No, probably beat another country. But they don't like to talk about it. I was a patient in the water.
What does that mean?
So they had to save him, the Surf Life Saving.
Yeah, so because I was the young kid, right? I was like 17, so I had to be the patient. And so I'm there bobbing in the water with a helmet on and a full-bodied wetsuit.
Custom helmet.
Yeah, it was. And they actually had to make one helmet out of two helmets.
I thought that was just me because I'm from Tasmania.
No, it's just my massive head. And then the siren went off because sharks had appeared. They got through the like the shark net, because they don't actually cover the whole beach. They cover part of it, right? So they get around it and all that sort of stuff. And there was no music. There was just fucking sharks everywhere.
It's just so scary. I was at the beach last week and the helicopter was flying around at really a low height. So you know that there's a shark in the water and they're having a look for it. And it's just scary.
Yeah, it's funny. You don't actually have to outswim the shark, just the person next to you.
That's true. Can I ask you boys a question? Speaking of being at the beach at that time, so on Wednesday of last week, I wanted to go to the beach and just have a bit of me time. The thing that I'm finding with a lot more free time is that I'm struggling to do stuff because I'm always on the go. So to actually have a bit of downtime is my biggest challenge at the moment. I can't do it. And I'm
switch off.
Yeah, I can't allow myself to do it. I feel guilty. So I drove to Grange Beach and went for a run from Grange to Henley a couple of times, and then thought I'm going to sit on the beach for an hour and read and put my phone away and just to switch off. So the Grange isn't near the beach that I live. It was nice to go away.
How'd you take the Instagram photo?
Well,
your phone was away.
Did I take an Instagram photo?
Yeah, you did. Had shoes and shit.
Oh, that was just before I left.
Okay.
Yeah. Such a good question.
I was like,
no,
gonna
but
fucking open this one up.
No, I'm glad that you did. And you
Bullshit.
Fuck you, Jarrod. This is bullshit.
You said that very aggressively.
You're lying.
Because you're assuming I was there with someone else to take the photo. So then I go, I'm at the beach by myself.
Yep.
There's people around. There were women in bikinis around. There were.
I have a sit here.
there were dudes around as well.
Bikinis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was there at midday. The sun was out.
This is a weekday, right?
Yeah, the weekday.
Do these people work or what?
Yeah.
No, just maybe students. Anyway, I'm a bald man who had my shirt off.
Pippa was here.
I asked my wife this question as well. How do you put sunscreen on your back?
By yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You can't.
Nah.
So should I have gone up to one of these people and said, excuse me, this is going to sound really weird, but can you put sunscreen on my back? Because otherwise you get the handprints around the side of you, or you get burnt in really weird spots.
Did you do it?
No.
Oh.
Because I didn't know what to do. I asked my wife and she's like, don't do that. Because I've got some weird tan marks now. I've got one under my arm, which is weird, and handprints on my back. What do you do in that situation? Because I can't ask my missus at 7 o'clock in the morning when she leaves for work, he was just a sunscreen on my back for 5 hours time, and I'm just going to sit here and do nothing.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of those guys that play pranks on people where they go up to randoms on the beach and they say, you put some sunscreen on my back. Or,
How do you do it though?
You don't. You just lay on your back so you can't get burnt.
That's so weird.
The only image I had in my head was painting a light pole with sunscreen and then rubbing your back against it.
Or taking a roller. Take a roller and do a roller.
Just go to Bunnings on the way.
Well, because I was like, maybe the spray one would work, but then you just get bloody speckled.
Exactly.
You spray it and back into it.
You could have got like Perspex and put it on your towel.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows, please send us a message on the socials. At Best Team on Twitter. What are our other socials?
Well, at Best Team In on Instagram and facebook.com/Best Team In. Jarrod, you obviously had the prelim final last week.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, beating Richmond in prelims isn't for everyone.
Listen to him.
I've been waiting to say that for a week.
No, that's okay.
How was that experience for you? Obviously, your first prelim final at Adelaide Oval.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's the most nervous I've ever been.
Really?
It's the most nervous I've ever been for one reason. Because I stuffed up the Welcome to Country the week before, my whole focus was actually not stuffing up that part, and I put so much pressure on myself. So we get a script.
Yeah, was it the same?
Exact same thing. Exact same thing, apart from the team name changing from Geelong to Richmond.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm going to make myself, I'm going to put myself in a position where I can't stuff this up. But then you overthink it. So I got there at 4 o'clock, right? Didn't have to be there till 5:30. So I'm sitting there.
You're like a nervous player.
I was so nervous. So for the people who didn't hear the last couple of rounds, I stumbled on the word senior and I said senior, and I stumbled on another word. And what I was doing on the big screen went through to broadcast. So I was at this point going, I'm so bloody nervous. And I had a look at the script and it said, ladies and gentlemen, the AFL and Premier partner Toyota would like to welcome you to Adelaide Oval for the game between preliminary between Port and Richmond. Then it said we acknowledge the welcome to country stuff. It said the Ghana people in brackets pronounced Ghana. It said that a couple of times, and it's had a couple of in brackets insert name. So that script was in front of me, and I'm like, that's going to stuff me up. I retyped it so I could look at it.
Yeah.
the things that I was most nervous about, Premier Partner Toyota, that sentence, I was freaking out.
Oh, the double Ps.
I was worried about going Premier Partner for some reason, Toyota. Because if you say Premier Partner Toyota a couple of times, it rattles you. Try it. Premier Partner Toyota.
Premier Partner Toyota. Premier Partner Toyota.
Not bad. You?
Premier Partner Toyota.
Okay.
Premier Partner Toyota. Premier Partner Toyota.
Okay, so it's easy for some of you.
Yeah.
Then Senior Gardener Custodian, which was the senior part I was a bit nervous about. And preliminary. Preliminary is a hard word to say.
Preliminary.
Well, do you say preliminary or preliminary?
Probably depends where you're from. Is that one of those weird Victorian, South Australian
Well,
things?
yeah.
So I guess you'd have to think, what does the AFL want you to say, right? Which are Victorians.
Exactly. So I had a couple of moments where I just threw that away and said exactly.
What the
Sorry,
fuck
Bruce McAvaney.
And later tonight on Sports Tonight with Andy.
Sorry, guys, I blacked out for last minute. What happened?
Andy's got this split personality that knows everything about sport.
Yeah.
We're going to test him later as well.
We will test him. So I went into this empty commentary box about 8 times to recite it to myself out loud. And I reckon the people at the footy thought I had a urinary tract infection because I'm like, I'll be back in a sec, guys. Because I just went into the box next door and I read it out, cleared my throat, freaking out.
When you were doing it, did you take away everything that could possibly sort of take your mind away from that script? Like, did you make sure that it wasn't a handheld mic? Did you make sure no one else was in the room with you?
I had people in the room and I said, guys, I don't mean to be, I'm not precious, but I said, look, I just need you to please keep your voices down for this part. And then there was cutlery smashing around and everything. I'm like, oh my God.
While you were doing it
just
live.
about to do it. Here we go.
So do you have an earpiece in and then they
had an
tell
earpiece,
you,
and they said,
go.
cue Jarrod.
Right.
So then once you are going and you start getting on a roll and you fumble your words, sometimes there's no way back and you need to stop the sentence and start again. So then I got through it and I've gone... And like basically while the anthem was playing, I was like standing up, like thrusting, like fuck yeah,
sweating.
Got a message from Popey who listened saying nailed it. And I thought awesome. Yeah. Then I look on Twitter and this journo from Melbourne's like, oh, it's just not the same without Craig Willis and the anthem. And I sent her a selfie of me holding the mic saying, sorry to disappoint.
Who was that?
Megan Husway.
Oh, she's from SEN?
I think so, yeah. So, no, I was stoked and I relaxed the whole game then because that I was so nervous because I'm so hard on myself for stuffing up that moment a couple of weeks ago, which nobody noticed. Internally, I wanted to redeem myself and go, oh, that's all good. Because then on the weekend I did the Sandful Grand Final and I was given the wrong team list. So I read out 2 names of players who weren't playing in the Reserves Grand Final. And then the captain came up and he's like, oh, mate, 2 guys haven't got medals. And I'm thinking, I don't know who you are. I'm like, well, you just read out their names, buddy.
That's just such an SNFL thing.
Oh man, So I had my redemption, which was a fine moment. So get stuffed, haters.
Do you ever have like a scrapbook of audio and video stuff that you've done apart from the official shit you've got on your website? Do you know what I mean by that? Like say the stuff you did at the start of the game.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. But I mean, other times I look at it and go, is this going to am I going to achieve anything holding this? Going through some of my audio, which we can play a bit later, I found today I've got audio from 2008 onwards.
Oh, gee. Wow.
Like grabs from absolutely
it's Jarrod
everything.
Here on the radio.
Yeah, pretty much that stuff. So there's some funny things we can take you through soon. Andy, you had an interesting past few days. We saw you DJing again, which was good.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. It was a wedding that I said yes to when I was happy that I'd quit Nova a year and a half ago. It was like I was buying a couch at Harvey Norman and get this random Instagram message going, hey man, how much would you charge to DJ my wedding next year? I was like, mate's rates. I'll give you this amount. It's in a year and a half. I'll be, happy days. Yeah. But I keep forgetting that whenever I try to do a wedding, I go, yeah, no worries. And then it comes up to the point, I'm like, I don't want to do this wedding. I hate DJing weddings.
Weddings suck, man.
Shit. Anyway, so I then...
So when's your wedding?
I'm busy that day.
I was hoping you'd MC and you'd DJ it.
I'll do it at a full tote odds. Yeah.
So I spent the last probably 6 weeks collating all my CDs that were covered in booze, stuck together from when I used to DJ at church and stuff. and I was converting him to MP3, so because I knew that he had Tractor.
Yeah.
You know, there's some software that connects to some hardware essentially to DJ with.
Yep.
Wait, he's talking about the software that connects to hardware.
Yeah.
DJ
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
then?
I'm picking up what you're putting down, brother Tony. Yeah.
BPM.
Yeah, well, because I'd never used the gear before because I'm used to using Pioneer CD players, and that is it.
Yeah.
So I'd converted all my music to MP3, all good to go. Downloaded the demo software because I wasn't going to pay $150 for it.
Great idea.
So just to give it a go, have a play around, fluff one out, which is great, and then
I don't know why Matty tries to hide the fact that he's laughing. Why? Just because you just passed wind.
No, I didn't pass wind. I was trying to fix my back.
It looked like you passed wind.
No.
It looked like you
leaned
lifted a leg.
over like you were just squeezing one.
No, I'm trying to help my back.
Fix my back, might lift my leg. So anyway, so I spent ages collating all my music into categories, wedding playlists, you know, just so I could sit back and relax, like almost like a Spotify playlist, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's no pressure on the night. I can concentrate on using this software and hardware, and happy days. So came to the point, I was freaking out on the Friday with my hard drives going, I hope this shit works because I've been in the situation where, that's right, it was the season launch for the Adelaide Crows that I DJ'd at Adelaide Oval a few years back. Rolled up, had all my music, DJ gear did not have USB. And I'm like, fuck.
I've got a similar story.
So I had to plug in my phone and play Spotify to thousands of people walking to Adelaide Oval while the guy that had sorted out the hire for the CD players went back to the warehouse to get proper CD players. Anyway, so I spent all this time collating music to MP3 for the wedding. I get there on the night, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm all sorted, ready to roll, happy days. I get there and he's running a PC. And I hadn't converted any of my USBs or into like that fat mode or whatever they call it to make sure that it runs on both. So I couldn't use any of the music. I spent $200 on music to make sure shit was legit so I could make sure licensing was right with all the old music and stuff. And then I ended up playing his music for 7 hours. 7 hours of DJ for.
At a wedding.
And then at the end of the night I went, hey man, like...
Where's my beer?
No. I was like, hey man, you guys had a really fun night. Pay what you think is you know right for this night. And I was thinking maybe he's going to pay more because he had such a fucking great night. And then 2 days later, I'm sitting on the toilet at 5 a.m. and a little notification comes through from Bank SA. It's $150 less than what I originally quoted, and I'm sitting there like, the fuck. What? So I lost an amazing amount of money on this wedding. And 7 hours of my time. I'm glad they had fun though. So that's the main thing, right? That is the main thing. You know, that's just living the life of Andy, really.
Should people contact you if they want to book you for their wedding?
They can hook us up at oscarsnetwork.com.
You know what? Like, you would know this. Like, weddings are so tough because you've got older people that want old people's music, and you've got young people that want young people's music. And they actually fight against each other. So you can be playing like a current song and an old person will come up and say, no one here likes this. Can you play some 70s or 80s and play it now?
100%.
And then you play some, dance floor walks off, the young ones come up, they're like, mate, can you come play some R&B or some EDM or something?
Yeah, well, like that example is even more concentrated as well because it was a smaller wedding because they had to thin it out for COVID.
Yeah.
So let's say there's 60 people from the age of 6 to 60.
Right.
So that there was about maybe 5 people in each age bracket.
So you were just copping it.
Oh, yeah. Like had there'd be like 15 minutes to be playing fucking Chubby Checker or some shit like that, or Roy Orbison or whatever his name is, and then I just play WAP. Right? And then, you know, the oldies would leave the floor and then the young ones would come up and dance and stuff. And that was pretty much, you know, the whole, what was it, like 2.5, 3 hours that I played of the actual dance floor stuff.
Yeah. It's hard work.
I was knackered.
I had to DJ one of my best mates' 40th, and I was using a trial program as well that you sign up for. So I actually got to him like, mate, we're ready to go. I had all of this music on a USB. I had connection to the internet if I wanted to download something and then add it on, blah, blah, blah. And then it's gone to go bang at the start of the night. Your trial has expired. I'm like, oh, shit. So and I'm like, hey, you had to like pay $150 to register the program.
Yeah.
But what I do was like, give me a second. So for the next 10 minutes, I created a new email Gmail account and then signed up to get the other trial.
That is awesome. That's so good.
Worked absolutely perfect.
You are a businessman at heart.
I know.
I think one story I had was, and it relates to the equipment issue that Andy had, was for years there I was DJing outside of the Riverbank stand for the Strikers, and then
I
also,
remember seeing you all the time.
also
hating life in 40 degrees.
Oh, mate. And the sun would set behind you. And
I'm
it was
waving
horrendous.
to him in air conditioning, and Matty's just in all black. And I'm
melting. And then I was doing it for Port Power as well for a couple of years there. And through that connection, I got asked to do the Sydney Roosters and Melbourne Storm game a couple of years ago. So the same company booked me for it, and normally I would rock up and Novatech would have an unbelievable setup. Great decks, good booth monitors, and just almost like a festival.
Yep.
So I've rocked up to this Sydney Roosters versus Melbourne Storm game, and I call the lady who's the contact there, and she goes, "Do you need some help unloading your equipment?" And I was like, "Oh, what do you mean?" She goes, "Oh, where's all your decks and stuff?"
Oh, shit.
I was like, I've never had to supply my own decks for this sort of gig ever. And she's like, "Oh, we're in some trouble here then." And had to go up to the AV room in the stadium and find a one self-powered speaker with a cable that I could connect to my laptop.
Oh, my God.
Again, literally just played off iTunes. So that was grim.
Yeah, I was just lucky with the Crows thing that I had the premium Spotify account, and there was not like ads for every single song.
I had so through the Pioneer CDJs, which is the main nightclub stuff. There's a program called Record Box.
Yeah, I think that's what I played.
So Record Box actually has an app on its phone, so you can download a song off iTunes on your phone, put it into Record Box on the app, and then play off the decks.
Okay,
So
like a cloud thing.
Or is it just connected? Yeah, it just connects to the CDJ and it just plays like a normal file. So I was in a club and a girl requested a song, and I didn't have it. So I thought, all right, I'll download it, put it on Record Box, connect my phone to the CD to the decks, and I'll play it.
Yep.
And it was all good until about halfway through the song when the app crashed.
Oh
shit! Well, actually, something similar I used to do. When I would do the Ramsgate, the Sandbar, like this is a fair fucking long time ago, where it's just CDs. USB hadn't even made a peep yet, right? So I'd roll up with my old MacBook Pro. I'd sit it down underneath the fucking the desk that had the decks on it, and I would literally be burning CDs all night. So part of me converting all this music for the weddings, I'd had to go through all that stuff. Shit's either like scribbled on with a fucking pencil, or no name. So I'd put a CD in it to put into iTunes to convert it, and literally it would just have one 3-minute song on the CD, and I had shit tons of it, like hundreds of CDs that I had to convert, and most of them had one song because I was burning at the pub and club or wherever I was playing.
You're getting paid to commit a crime.
Yeah,
I really was. Because it wasn't bored; it was definitely torrent. So, Andy, you got some LimeWire going on there. Yeah, some Napster too, so that's good.
Matty, before we wrap this up, we've got a little bit left. So can you please get into the game that you've been very excited about getting into?
Yes.
I've got an addition at the end of it too, which I want to share with you guys. So,
perfect.
Was there an intro for this?
Andy said he got halfway through making one.
No, I was trying to make it, but Pro Tools shut itself this morning.
Yeah, great. So what's the game called?
So it's called Sport or Porn Star. So, I'm gonna.
Just play something. Thanks.
Do you like the crowd noise and then the
great crowd noise?
I'm going to rattle off 5 names, okay, and you're going to tell me if they're a sports star or a porn star.
Oh, this is way easier than the last one we used to do. The old title one, how to explain that shit.
Okay, Dick Pole,
porn star.
He's the assistant coach for the Chicago Cubs.
Oh my god. You'd change your name, wouldn't you?
Rod Longstaff.
Nah, porn star.
Yeah, that's a porn star.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Steel Sidebottom.
Nah, that sounds like a footy player or something.
Yeah, it's a footy. You got it right.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Dick Butkus.
Dick Butkus.
My heart says porn, but my brain says sports. Going to go sports.
Yep, he's in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
that is hilarious.
Yep. And last one, Tom Wanks.
Porn star for sure.
It's like the umpire's name who first umpired an AFL grand final. His name was Ivor Crab.
Did they really put it on the screen?
I have a crap. Well, I don't think they had screens back then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this is the thing about the Sports Star, which I thought of you guys this morning. I'll read you the article. It's from news.com.au from Jai Bednall. And it says, Shaquille became one of the most popular names for newborns in the United States in the 90s when Shaq was dominating the NBA. There's plenty of Cristianos and Leos running around in Europe and South America right now. But we bet emerging Peruvian footballer Osama bin Laden wishes his old man picked a different word to salute with his name. It gets better. The 18-year-old made headlines this week because of his name. So basically, they, instead of the word V, the letter V, use B in their language. So his name is actually pronounced Osama bin Laden Jimenez Lopez. It continues.
Wouldn't you just change it to Jimmy Lopez? Or
In a radio interview, Osama explained it was his father's decision to name him after the former Al-Qaeda leader, and his brother didn't escape either. My brother's name is Saddam Hussein.
Oh, my God.
And my father wanted to name the third child George Bush, but it was a girl.
Has that father been arrested by the CIA yet? Or
Sure.
There is also a person in Peru called Hitler.
Just first name?
just Hitler?
Oh, man.
You're not going out in public with that, are you?
No.
Imagine going to Boost Juice and
I got a bloody energy lift for Hitler.
got a passion mango for Osama bin Laden.
I have some audio to play for you guys. I've been going through the archives today and over the next couple of rounds. I think in every round you should put the pressure on me to find some audio from my radio archives.
Okay, done.
No one is safe in this. Andy, the first bit of audio I wanted to play as I was scrolling through some podcasts over the past week. I had a listen to our good Pressbox EP with our mate Dale, Dustin Fletcher, Jason, say something nice, Cam, and Sam. Bit of me time at Tugwell.
Well, there was almost a switch there between me and Dusty.
There was almost a switch. Speaking of switch, during the week on the 5AA Sports Show, instead of doing the live stream with Graham Corns on the 5AA Facebook page, Tuggers, because he's all about me, decided to do it on his own Facebook page. So he streamed the 5AA interview with Graham Corns on his own Facebook page.
A bit of traction for Tuggers.
You can tell, well, Tuggers is getting really excited with how he's going at the moment. He's doing great commentary right now for Fox, for the Shield. This is how Tuggers is really happy with himself at the moment.
Have you been watching any of the cricket, guys? Because the Redbacks of the Shield Hub we've been talking about that it was built here in Adelaide, it's actually it's here, it's up, and it's erect, and it's all happening.
It's erect.
So, here it is.
Yeah, I have been.
Jeepers, all right. So going from Pressbox EP to, okay, so because I don't work at the station anymore, a couple of years ago, I used to listen to overnights on 5AA because the overnights announcers are very interesting characters. They are the guys that basically have to fill a lot of time with people who can't get to sleep and are just looking for people to speak to. There's a lot of gap filling, right? There's a particular announcer who really reads all the SMSs people send into the station. Right. So I decided, because I think I'd been out that night, I got home, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to engage with this announcer. He needs a bit of quality content. So I decided to get in touch via a message with this announcer just to indicate, talkback radio announcers always tell the time. They always tell you what time it is, always fucking tell you what time it is. So I decided that I'd had enough. So here is part one.
Time. Now, I did get an SMS. This is from Steve, and he says, got to wait for the page to refresh.
Oh, good one.
Andrew, most of us have clocks now, so you don't have to tell us the time every time you open up your mouth. Steve, thank you very much for that. But the reason I do tell the time is for the people who are lying in bed and maybe don't have a clock, okay? So more power to you for having a clock, Steve, and thank you very much for sending that in.
That was a massive underhanded fuck you.
Yeah. Right in here. It's a huge fuck you. Right. So I thought... Steve thought, this is a
Steve
war.
runs our Twitter, yeah?
Yeah, Steve operates our Twitter. So that was part one. And I think Steve thought, you know what, mate, I'm really enjoying this at the moment. And obviously, I'm going to keep listening just to see if this announcer has really taken Steve's message to heart.
Hey, Steve, just in case you're still listening, it's 23 to 2.
This is 23 to 2 in the morning.
Oh.
And at that point, Steve is thinking, fuck.
He's still listening here.
Yeah, Steve should probably have a hydrolyte and just listen to the rest of the show and see what happens.
Got an SMS from Alice. Hi, Alice. And she says, in relation to Steve's SMS, what a Richard Cranium. I actually appreciate time updates. Thanks, Andy. What time is it? Cheers. Well, Alice, I can tell you it's 21 minutes to 2. My number's 8.
Mate, I can honestly tell when you've rattled him.
Well, I know. And
he would have gone out and punched the wall in the car park.
He's he's pacing laps of his studio. You've made him so angry.
We always listen to people who get rattled on radio stations, and I wanted to play you another one. So sometimes, as I said, you get caught up in a sentence and there's no going back. So this is a really good indicator of when someone's doing something live. I always love doing live because it means that it shows your human side. Apart from when you fuck up and you can't keep a sentence together. I'm not going to name names here, but just have a listen to...
Will we recognise it?
Yep. Have a listen to this stumble on words.
Hello, Sean Maynard here. Got your clue to win a brand new mobile phone. Oh, yeah. Yeah, your clue to win that next here at Fresh.
What just happened there?
I listened to that a few times, trying to work out what happened.
It sounded like he was
Can you please play it again?
going through a tunnel or something on the phone.
I'll give you my theory after we listen to this one again. Here we go.
Hello, Sean Maynard here. Got your clue to win a brand new mobile phone. Oh, yeah. Yeah, your clue to win that next here at Fresh.
Oh, can I just... We're going to play this audio. We're not going to name names. Sean Maynard here.
Just straight into it. Holy moly.
I want to hear it again.
Oh, he's a good guy, guys.
Hello, Sean Maynard here. Got your clue to win a brand new mobile phone. Oh, yeah. Yeah, your clue to win that next here at Fresh.
See, there's two things there. Are you, doing a live thing, say emceeing, and you're doing a big event in front of people on a stage.
Yes.
And you fuck up one word has happened with you and it happened with me, and you try to work through it.
Yeah, it's hard. There's no going back.
It's death time after that.
Yeah.
I think he might have pre-recorded that, and he was supposed to be doing it over a certain part of the song.
Yes.
Because it just seemed like he's trying to, in the production world, he's trying
so
to
there could be a beat in between.
Yeah. He's trying to sidechain his voice live. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And everyone else listening that doesn't know what sidechaining is, don't worry about it. Let's move on. But I reckon he's tried to do that. He's trying to be fancy, but it hasn't worked out live on air.
Yeah, it hasn't worked out. No. But no, he's a good man, and he still works. He's a fantastic newsreader as well. I'm not trying to just butter him up now because we played it, because we play all of our mistakes here. I'm going to hold on to the other ones for the next round we do.
I've got a couple for next round too. So.
Great. Let's put some people on the plaque, guys. And there's been a massive round today as well. So quickly, I'm going to put Ripley Scott on the plaque. He's a great young kid, supports Adelaide United, really good MC as well. So he's a big listener of the podcast. Ripley, believe it or not. He's heard it heaps of time.
Yeah, that's new. I'm chucking Crackers Gordon on. He's Crackers Gordon.
He
interacts with the Twitter quite often, which is good. So we appreciate that.
And also best team man, or just Twitter in general.
Yeah. How do you know? How do you know that? Because you run the Twitter account.
Yes, great tweet, mate.
Okay, your dad's a dog.
And also, great photo, by the way, that you uploaded the other day. The family pic.
Baby John Burgess and your dad.
Again, off the Twitter, Tats37, at Tats37.
Hey, Tatters.
Where do we get merchandise from?
You can get it from the Ozcast shop. That is at ozcastnetwork.com. Just hit the shop bit, or you can just Google it because the SEO is off its tits.
Yeah, the SEO. I'm gonna buy merchandise.
Now, before we wrap this one up, there's one game left in the AFL season.
Oh, yeah.
We need to win a multi.
Yep.
We need to do this is our last chance for 2020.
Yeah, so make it achievable. If this is the people's multi, make it achievable.
I don't care if we win $5.
Agree.
Just something. We just need green ticks.
Green ticks.
because it is the grand final, do they give extra sort of
Odds?
movement on the odds and stuff,
not
or do you
really.
get more
No,
for
they
your
don't,
value
mate.
for
No,
money?
silly question,
No,
mate.
this is a
Yeah,
stupid
good
question.
chat.
Sorry, guys, it's going to leave.
Yeah. We'll catch you next round. Thank you very much for listening. There's plenty more next round as well. Boost Team Men coming up soon too. Quick, just do something. See ya.
See us. Here comes Con.
Brought to you by the Brighton Trophy Centre. Cups, trophy, badges, medals. Yeah, we do it better. Best team, man. DTC, BTM, BTS. Yeah. Best team, man. Oh, yeah. Sweet.
Ozcast.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.